One of the things I was just thinking about, I don't know if any of my sisters will remember this, but when she was little, one of the things that Donna was a tease, and she would tell these corny jokes all the time, you know, and oh God, you know, but she started out that way.
Well, I remember Donna as being one of my beautiful sisters that got to go out on many dates and had many suitors. And I remember, I think, just about every single one. You can either say boyfriend or just friends that she liked to date. And I don't know if I should name each one I remember or not. But of course, Pat was my very favorite one.
And as far as your mom is concerned, one of my greatest happy memories about her was when she was in high school, because I missed her high school years and actually most of her growing up years. But she used to write me long letters when I lived in the Dalles, and which I shared with the other two young sister friends of mine, and we would laugh and laugh and laugh. They were long letters about her various escapades with her multiple boyfriends. And they were wonderful. Wonderful.
I remember Donna having the experience of going out on a date with one guy and coming home, and the doorbell rings and it's time for the next date, but the first date hadn't left yet. So I'm thinking that maybe the longevity of their marriage as well as their happiness together is a result of her many experiences and knowing that she got the pick of the crop when she found Pat and decided that he was the one and only for her. And she knew that because she had another suitor that was very, very serious about her. And Bill was a really nice guy, and Donna had some little heartache and anxiety over who is going to be my lifelong mate. And she chose Pat. And I think she chose Pat because Pat is her soulmate.
The Christmas before they got married, and they must have been engaged because they got married in February, he sent me a Christmas card. I've never forgotten it, so obviously that had to be, it was a really nice Christmas card. I think he might have been in France, and if he wasn't in France, he might previously been there, you know, and wrote a nice little message on it, which I thought was pretty good since he really didn't know me. I don't think we'd even actually met.
I remember, I think, if I have this clear, Donna and I shared a bedroom all our lives, and I remember her writing a Dear John letter to Pat. Unless, of course, he wrote it to her, but I think she wrote it to him, and then she got very upset one evening when she got the mail after coming home from work, and anyway, the end result is that she ended up choosing Pat over Bill, and they got married, and they are presently living happily ever after.
I was very unhappy when I couldn't go to their wedding. I was very happy when they came to our house and posed for pictures and stuff. It's embarrassing.
I also remember right after they got married, I remember, boy, I could also say about how your mother was requiring me to, oh gosh, she didn't want me to be too fat for her wedding. I remember that. Because I was one of her bridesmaids. But anyway, I was a freshman in high school. But I also remember after they got married that that I got to spend the night over at their apartment when they were newlyweds, and I just fell in love with their apartment. I thought it was so cool, and they had this cool fold-up stove, and Donna made dinner, and Pat was at work, and when he came home from work we had this wonderful dinner, and we had beef stroganoff, and I thought it was the best beef stroganoff I'd ever had in my life, but also it was the only beef stroganoff I had ever had in my life, but I knew that I wanted it again after I had had it, and it was terrific, and I have very fond memories of being able to spend the night in their first apartment together. It was not on their first night together in the apartment, however. But also another memory I have of that little evening was sleeping there and freezing. I was so cold all night long, but I knew that I couldn't go hop in bed with them. So I just endured it, and I survived.
I also remember how Marriage Encounter was a great example to me, that you guys were willing to always be working on your marriage and continually building your marriage to be stronger and stronger. And you know, I just kind of thought marriage came easily, but now being in, I see that it is a work in progress, and that it is something that you continually should work on. And your going to Marriage Encounter just shows that you guys are both important to each other. And I hope the same thing for Todd and I. I feel like the example that you set is something that is a wonderful gift that you gave to me, by showing that love is something that is continually worked on and builds and grows stronger and stronger all of the time. One of the things I also remember, one weekend that you guys went away, and I don't remember exactly how long you were gone, but I remember that you and Dad were gone for a while. And when you got back, Megan had made up these little posters for you, and she put them on your door and put them on your bed, and they said, "Welcome home, Mom and Dad, from your youngest daughter, Megan." And I remember Dad making a quiet comment, kind of to himself, but I overheard it when he said, "Maybe not for long." And that, I thought, what could he be talking about? He couldn't possibly be talking about you having another baby. So I remember telling Allison that night, "Do you know what Dad said?" He said, "Maybe not for long." And Allison's like, "Oh no, they wouldn't have your baby, no." But that kind of stuck in the back of my mind, and I kind of put it to the side. I don't remember how long it was from that point until the point that you set the table nicely, and we each had a wine glass filled with sparkling cider, and you sat us all down. We were all wondering what was the special occasion, and you said, "Well, I have something to tell you." And I jumped up out of my chair and knocked the chair over down onto the floor and said, "You're pregnant!" And sure enough, you were. And I just think amazing that you were willing to raise all of us. And as a mother myself, I see that it is an incredible amount of work, patience, and love. And I'm so in awe of both of you and how wonderfully you raised us and provided for us and took care of us. And just want you to know that I appreciate everything that you've done for us, and that you're always there for us when we needed you. I just want to leave you with a thank you for being the example for me.
Something I remember about Mom and Dad as a couple is that when we'd be waiting for Dad to get home and he would finally get home and come in the door, that Mom would come and greet him, or Dad would find Mom in the kitchen, and they'd always kiss each other as soon as Dad got home. And I thought that was special, and it's been something that's lasted with me. The values that Mom and Dad have taught me that I think are most important to me are faith, education, and family. And I appreciate that.
And they've been an example to me all these years of love and faithfulness, and the things that you kids have observed and pointed out to them. All their hard work with you has paid off. They've both actually made a great commitment to each other, which has been an example.
One of the, I think, true signs of them living happily ever after is their beautiful family that they have. And I remember so clearly her having Colby, and then me falling in love with him, the little beautiful blue-eyed blonde little Cupid doll, and then Shannon, and once again we have another blue-eyed, beautiful, light brown Cupid doll, and then Allison, and then Kelly, and then Aaron, and then Megan, and Molly, and all of which could not be dearer to me in my heart and in my soul. And one thing that I was contemplating last night is that one reason why I think I have such a fondness for my nieces and my nephew is that it's not really like they are what I think a typical niece and nephew aunt relationship is. And I think part of that has to do with maybe me being younger. And so I would get to see them a lot when they were teeny. And it's so really, it just feels like they are an extension of me and my nuclear family. So kind of more being younger sisters and little brother to me than the distance that maybe a niece and nephew indicate. Anyway, they have won my heart and soul, and I think that Don and Pat raising such loving and kind children is a result of the love that they share. And it means the world to me for them to be a part of my life and for me to be a part of their life.
My first impression of my mom and dad was that they looked awfully tired, and I think that they were kind of surprised to have me. I first met them, I was conceived, but it was a long time before I really got to know them. And they got to know me, but they're great people, and anybody who doesn't think that, then they got something wrong.
When I look at this beautiful portrait in front of me, with all the girls and Kobe and your parents, I have one thing to say. You're one horny couple. I say all the power to you guys, and Shannon is definitely your daughter. From things I remember in college, and we had some good times. Her and her gallon jugs of wine I only got to hear the stories of, but I think you guys are a beaming example of family and unity and love. And your daughter's making me laugh.
Something I really admire about Mom is how she loves to help other people, and how you see her do things like volunteer for the SMART program and volunteer at the church. And something I really admire about Dad is how he likes to make things fun and bring in humor, and how we don't just have a family trip, we have a family adventure.
Well, I think each of their gifts that they have brought in and that have matured over the years have meshed with each other in a real good way. So what one has brought out really positive and strong characteristics that may not have been developed had they not entered into this union relationship. And I think that's worked both ways. Seeing your dad with you kids as you grew up, it's obvious that he just loves kids. Babies were a magnet for him all through the years, not just his babies, any babies. And since they decided to have a few, it's really good that is the way it was. Yeah, I think Donna has been a great wife and mom and sister.
I think the thing I've learned most from my mother and father, Pat and Donna McCormick, is unconditional love.
Word up.
Because I wasn't much of a problem to raise, but whenever I did do something wrong, I still knew that they would love me.
My first impression of Pat and Donna was that they were tired. They were tired of Allison. They liked me better. Matter of fact, when I met Donna, I met her at Thanksgiving. I came with a plate of food, and she looked and said, well, of course Allison couldn't have made this. And she was right. But I thank them for giving us Allison, because without her, I wouldn't know any of you.
Good times I remember are going to Disneyland with the McCormick family. And one thing I especially loved and I have fond memories of is walking back to the hotel, of course staying at Disneyland until it closed at 1 o'clock in the morning, and all of us walking back arm in arm. And Megan was pretty teeny, and Brianna was still in a stroller. She was little. She was just 2, and so that put Megan about at 5. And anyway, then there were the rest of us, and we would walk arm in arm, and we walked very crazily down the street with our arms over the shoulders of each other, and then we took our legs and we kind of crossed one leg over the other leg, and then we crossed all the legs over the other way. And as we're walking down the street, we're saying shimmy, shimmy, cocoa ba, shimmy, shimmy ba, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa ba, shimmy, shimmy ba, and we continue walking down the street arm in arm, and doing our feet over and over and continuing shimmy shimmy cocoa ball all the way back to the hotel. Those were good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. Good.
Hey, remember that one time? Oh, the time when that guy was there? Yeah, then we went to that one place. And that, with that one thing? Yeah. With that, that guy was so funny. Oh, that one time? That one guy cracked me up. Cracked me up more. Yeah. Yeah. Cracked me up 2 times the crack. So yeah. That was good times. Good.
Go like this. Come on. There's no M&Ms unless you do it.
Hi Donna, hi Pat. Happy anniversary to you. This is being taped or filmed more or less in an anniversary of all those good old Christmas parties of long ago when our generation was in their 20s and you held the Christmas Christmas parties at your house and served hard liquor. Rum and Coke and whiskey. I can hardly believe it when I think back now that we actually drank drinks. Drank drinks. But this is a special present made for you by the kids, and it seems to me that you've been a very well-matched pair, and I'm happy that you've been so happy all these years. And remember not only all the old Christmas parties, but even before you were married, when you and Pat and Dave and I went out to Hamburgers after the theater was out. Those were pretty good times. We didn't know what was going to happen to us, but here we are all this time later, older and I hope wiser.
My message to you, Don and Pat, is that I love you, and it's been a wonderful pleasure for me to have the opportunity to be part of your life and for you to bless my life so richly with all your children and demonstrate to Dennis and I the love that you share. And I really appreciate you being there for Dennis and I in some really tough times when we've had some choices to make, and so I just thank you for that, and I love you with all.
Happy anniversary, Donna and Pat. Not only have we been able to share in the love that you have for each other, the great times that we enjoy at family gatherings or when the McCormicks show up, because that's when the good times start. Thanks.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. I just want to say more than anything, I feel that you've been a wonderful example to me for what I want in my marriage is what I feel like you have in your marriage. And I remember being younger and Dad would come home from work, and the first thing he would always do is he would come right in and he would give you a big long hug. And I just remember that was just such a powerful showing to each other of how much you love each other. And we, of course, would try to squeeze in between, and you guys would hug tighter and tighter so that we couldn't get inside your hug. And I remember that, and as an example, that is what marriage is about. It's about being there for each other, and how important that hug was, just to show each other that you love each other after a long, hard day.
And I'd just like to say happy anniversary. I hope there are many, many more years. Sorry there's no fancy song and dance show with this anniversary, but maybe the next one. I love you.
Good times. I could go like this for old time's sakes for the grandparents' anniversary, and I feel like I'm already doing that, but I just gotta say, way to go. You guys are great. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, I love you both.
Happy anniversary, Donna and Pat. Well, happy anniversary, Donna and Pat. It seems like only yesterday I was cutting your wedding cake. It's a lot of water over the dam since then and down the hill besides. I hope you have a wonderful anniversary. It's been our pleasure knowing and loving you all of these years. Have a good one.
Keep up the good work. Continue loving and living.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.